Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? So, hope you're doing well on this fine morning. Stupid BTC down again, man. Broke that critical 8,000 level. You know, what are you gonna say? It's just frustrating that, you know, all of this is going on and Bitcoin just continues to seem like it's being suppressed. You know, and a lot of that goes to the pairings, and that the whole market is basically dependent on Bitcoin, which is great, but it's not so great. But anyways, on to today's topics. So number one topic, we're going to talk a little bit about well, actually about ChainLink, not XL. Yeah, so ChainLink. So the title of the video, why is ChainLink so important? I'm kicking myself in the head. I actually had 10,000 ChainLink at one point, and I sold it a while back ago, and I'm just kicking myself for it. So I never really understood what ChainLink was and why it's so important, and why it's such a front runner in what they're doing. And what basically the problem that ChainLink is solving is a thing called price oracles. And you're like, what is a price oracle? So basically, as blockchain evolves, hold on a second. All right, up to highway speed. As blockchain evolves, we are going to need real world inputs, okay? And these inputs could be a series of many things. It could be price feeds. It could be events that happen in the world, like who wins presidency. You know, how many times did it rain? So basically what these are is, these are data feeds. So these data feeds basically can be used on the blockchain. And why this is so important is that smart contracts interact with that data, real world data, and they make things happen. So a price oracle, I mean, that's just one example, is, so with ChainLink, what it's doing is, it is feeding a bunch of data into the blockchain so that it's on chain, so that smart contracts can interact with it and things will happen. And like I said, this could be a variant, such as the point of SNX. So I did some videos on Synthetics token network. Synthetics has price oracles or price feeds where it's getting real world data of assets like gold, silver, Bitcoin, ETH, etc. So you want those price feeds to be on chain so they can't be manipulated or changed, and they're consistent and they're never down. So that's one of the challenges with Synthetics network, is that they need these price oracles to be on chain. So that's kind of where the partnership with ChainLink, and that's kind of when I was introduced to, oh, that's what ChainLink does. ChainLink is a price oracle, or in more simplistic terms, price oracles are things that feed data streams onto the blockchain so that smart contracts can interact with them. So it's a very cool concept. And you know, with that, I don't have any ChainLink. So most likely, as I compound my SNX, I will probably be buying some synthetic ChainLink as a hedge, because I think even though the price has already mooned a lot, long term, it's definitely a very solid token, because basically, you know, DeFi finance is going to run on a lot of these price oracles, so that is just going to increase the value of ChainLink. So yeah, so that's ChainLink. other topics for today. SNX. So we had that pullback on SNX, and if you're in, that means your collateralization levels are probably offset. Now, the question is, what do I do now? Keep in mind the incentive to maintain the 750% collateralization level is so that you can collect your weekly divs. Now, those divs are good for 2 weeks. So basically you have 2 weeks to get your SNX collateralization level to a healthy point within 1%, and then you can grab your divs. Now, some things I've noticed from these last couple days. So we had that run up to $1.25, and if you were minting and hyper compounding, well, first let's pull it back. What is hyper compounding? All right, so I was in the Discord, and hyper compounding is what they said anyone new to SNX needs to be wary of. So what is hyper compounding on synthetics? Well, remember, you stake your SNX, and then you get SUSD minted, and then you're supposed to hedge an asset like synthetic Bitcoin, synthetic ETH, or take your SUSD outside of the system and hedge against a real world asset. And you can do that by going to Uniswap, swapping out your SUSD for real ETH, for something else, for whatever, and then trading that. Well, hyper compounding on synthetics is when your collateralization goes up to 800%. You hit the mint button, you get SUSD, then you go to Uniswap, you buy more SNX, and then you stake that SNX, and then you mint again. So it's a cycle, and it works until you have a price pullback, and then your collateralization level is completely upside down. Now, and then also keep in mind, you're growing that debt and you have nothing to recover it with. You're going to have to come up with the cash out of your pocket. Whereas if you bought a synth or a real world asset, at least you can cash that out and then pay off your SUSD if you wanted to unlock your SNX. Now, ultimately, the incentive is never to unlock your SNX, right? But I have a sneaking suspicion. What I noticed during this last couple days, was that on Uniswap, there is quite a bit of slippage, and the price FOMO's up, and it actually tracks 2 or 3 cents higher than what you could get like on KuCoin. So to have that instant swap. So be wary of that. You're doing a market order on Uniswap, so you kind of get forced into higher values. And if everyone's FOMOing and everyone's hyper compounding, then the price gets artificially run up, and then you're already paying a premium on top of that. So just be careful of that. So with that being said, moving forward, what do I think a better strategy is? I think a better strategy is to add 25% to your 13.33%. So if it's 750%, I'm gonna have to do the math. I'll actually put the math in the video. You would multiply the 750% times 25%. What that allows you is a 25% drop in your SNX, and you're still at a healthy collateralization level. So what I may do personally is I'll probably buy some more SNX today so I can get my collateralization level solid. I'll probably use KuCoin though, because Uniswap, like I said, it's front running and you're paying that premium. I'll deposit it, but I'll probably in the future use 800% as my base level. And you're like, why is that? Because then I could absorb a 20, well, actually, let me take that back. It's not 800%. It would be 750 times 25. So I have to find it out. But anyways, I will keep a level which is higher than 750, and I'll make that my new floor. Okay? That'll be my new floor. So then anything above my increased floor I will mint. So this will protect me against price drops on SNX, because I got a sneaking suspicion that during these FOMO rounds and when SNX is pumping, that there's some people that are dumping. And then they're repeating the cycle with the hopes that the volume will dry up and, the volume will dry up. Because what could happen technically is if people hyper compounded and minted, then, they'll get to a FOMO point and then they run out of funds, and then we're going to have this pullback, and then no one has money to buy more SNX. So then that's where the smart traders come in and buy their SNX at a discount. So like at $1.06 or whatever it is today, think about that. That's like 20% almost. So, you could get it right cheap. Now on the retracement, where are we going? We're still in the retracement mode. It could go down to like 90 cents or so. So I'll probably stand by, keep an eye on the hourly and see if there's negative divergence, and basically, I'll be able to pick up shares on the cheap. So with that, just keep in mind a couple things. I think a good strategy is to have a base floor higher than the 750% so that you can absorb price shocks, number one. And number two, beware of hypercompounding. Hypercompounding is when you loop through the minting process with no intent of buying an asset, real world or synthetic, therefore increasing your debt and kind of exposing your belly. And then on top of that, you can have a pullback on the SNX price, and then you're kind of wrecked. And you don't want to miss out on those sweet 1% divs. Nothing really right now in the market pays 1%. That's 52% a week, plus network synthetic fees on assets. So so anyways, I'm going to have a more detailed strategy. I think my next video is going to be on my tutorial series is going to be, I have SUSD, now what? So basically a lot of people mint that SUSD and then they're like, I don't know what to do next. So there are a lot of options and there's a lot of paths that you can take with that SUSD. So keep that in mind. But with that, that is today's thoughts and log. This is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking out.